So this is the foldable. Notice you're going to fold this in. So this side we're going to do examples of not functions. And this side we're going to do examples of functions. This will be glued into your notebook, or if you have a binder, it will just be hole punched in. So I'm going to wait to cut these. You can cut them before, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go ahead and fill in all of the parts. So on this first one, notice this is the function side, and these are ordered pairs. So I'm going to give you ordered pairs that are example of a function. So we have -1, 3, the 0.04, the 0.15. So those three are a function, or is an example of a function, because notice each input value, there's no repeated input value. Let's go ahead and up at the very top, we're going to write that definition we wrote for function, just so it's in the foldable as well. So a function is a relationship where each input has exactly one output. So that means no input value is repeated. So then this one, notice, is just a table. So we have, I'm going to just add a few more points so that I fill the table. So -2, 2, -1, 3, 0, 2, 1, 5, and 2, 3. Notice these 3 points right here are -1, 3, 0. Oops, I put 2. That's okay. 0, 2, 1, 5, 2, 3. So this is a table that none of the input values are repeated. Notice you can have repeated Y values. Just like on the vending machine, you could have more than one, a button give you more than one thing, but you can't have a repeated input. That's why it says exactly, each input has exactly one output. So you cannot have a repeated X value. So -2, this is called mapping diagram. So notice from -2, my X values are -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. My Y values are 2, 3, and 5. So -2, if you look in this table, goes to 2. -1 goes to 3. 0 goes to 2 as well. 1 goes to 5. And 2 goes to 3. So notice each of those only point to one number, and that's what you want. They can point to the same number, you just can't you can't have any number going to two separate things. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and graph these. So -2, 2, so -2, 1, 2, -1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0, 2, so 0, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So notice they're just points, but there are no repeated X values. So if you look along this, we actually call it the vertical line test because you can see that no values are repeated. No values are repeated along there's no X value that has two different values. So vertical line test, if you can draw a vertical line through each one of those, then you know that it is not, or it is a function because there's no repeated values. Okay, Now I'm going to move to the side that is not a function. Notice these are not a functions: ordered pairs, table, mapping, and graph. So for something to be not a function, it has a repeated input or x. So it has a repeated input or x value. Let's say value. Okay, so if I have the example -1, 4, -1, 5, 0, 2. So this right here is what makes that not a function. It's a repeated x value. So -1 has 2 output values. So -1 has 2 output values. So -1, 4 and -1, 5. Okay. Now this table, -2, 3, -1, 4, -1, 5, 0, 2, and 1, 3. So the part on this one that makes it not a function is this right here. So if you look at that table, the -1, 4, -1, 5, since it has 2 x values with different y values, it is not a function. So I'm going to go ahead and show what part. You can see what part each time makes it not a function. So this is not a function because -1 is repeated and does not have exactly one output. Does not have exactly one output. Okay, now let's do it for mapping. So -2, -1, 0, 1, those are my x values. My y values include 3, 4, 5, 2. These don't have to be in any order, but -2 goes to 3, -1 goes to 4, and -1 goes to 5. 0 goes to 2, and 1 goes to up here to 3. So the part that makes this not a function is this right here. Because -1 goes to both 4 and 5. So as soon as you see that that one of the numbers goes to 2 different things, it is no longer a function. Okay, and then this last one, -2, 1, 2, 3, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, -1, 5, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, hold on. This one is wrong, sorry. That's the correct point. So -1, 5, 0, 2, and 1, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that point right there is wrong. But this is not a function because there is a repeated x value. Again, like I was talking about just a second ago, since there are 2 points that have that x value right there, so I just drew a line. I know my hand is in the way, but I just drew a line. So since there are 2 points that have the same x value, that is why that one is not a function. So again, if there's one that makes it not one number that's repeated that makes it not a function, then all of it is not a function. I was just making those stars black. Okay, now, in order to finish your foldable, you are going to cut, notice this dotted line right here, you're going to cut those so that it makes it a flap. So I'm just cutting along those dotted lines. Oops, actually I'm just supposed to cut along this dotted line, not those. So I'm going to tape mine in just a second. Only cut along the dotted line, not the solid line. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but it's going to make it a better foldable. So I'm just cutting along those dotted lines so that whenever I open this, all I see is an ordered pair that's not a function, a table that's not a function, a mapping diagram, and a graph. And I'm just going to do the other side. So that's what your foldable should look like. Don't cut along those solid lines just because it'll make it harder to glue it into your notebook. So only cut along the dotted.